What's up, YouTube? Eric here from MajorLeagueTrading.com, and I apologize for not getting a free video out over the past 2 weeks. It's been a super crazy, hectic personal time in my life. And with this market, the way in which it's been acting, I've been trying to stay away from the desk as long as I possibly can each day. So with that being said, I know that a number of you guys have missed them and requested them. So we're back at it and going to stay consistent here no matter what the market does. And the good news is we have earnings season in about a month from now. So we're just a little bit past, halfway mark here in September, and we're going to start kicking off earnings, about midway through October. So there's not too much longer to wait for that to happen. But in the meantime, we still got to deal with the current market conditions we have, which have been a little erratic to say the least, right? I mean, we're talking just super whippy price action. I mean, a 2-minute chart of the NASDAQ futures here, we're looking at 26 points on that bar, 28 points on that bar, 31 points on that bar. I mean, top to bottom on those moves, is $600, $500, $500, right? And it's just, and that's all within the span of, like 6 minutes there. So it's been a pretty crazy, erratic time just overall in the markets. And it really makes sense here because at the moment, we have something potentially kind of battling it out on the weekly chart right now. And it's like, hey, does this potentially roll over and take us much lower from here, right? If we crack through these lows, I mean, we could realistically see a move down in towards like 13,000, right? That wouldn't be out of the ordinary, and realistically, it could probably happen pretty quick. Now, is that going to happen coming into earnings season and all of those things? I don't know. And we're also only like 1,500 points here from new all-time highs, so we could very easily, turn and head that direction as well. But I think tomorrow is going to give a lot of insight to this. So coming up tomorrow here, I'm not a big news guy just in terms of like, caring about what the numbers are or whatever. But obviously we have to be aware of the FOMC. So this is going to be a big rate decision here coming up tomorrow, the federal funds rate, the economic projections, the statement, and then of course at 2:30 is going to be the press conference. And that could essentially, completely reverse any move that, initially comes out of this, right? So typically what we'll end up seeing in something like this is some sort of 1, 2, 3 type of move. So we get one initial spike in one direction or another, and then, we'll come back, kind of test where we were previously, and then, hey, either continue in that direction or completely reverse course here. So for me right now, the NASDAQ has been the big mover here, I think, and it really depends, which market you look at, right? If we look at the NASDAQ here and we just, flip this over to like a daily chart, it's like, okay, cool. We've got a pretty decent pullback here. We probably should have held this green bar, back here from the 29th of August, and held some sort of pullback, and we just haven't done so. But at the same time, when we look at something like the Russell here, the Russell's weak, right? Like this is not a chart I'm necessarily, too interested in picking up longs in, right? If I'm thinking it's cheap, then okay, that's one thing, but we've still got some room to go here, another 100-ish odd points to get down towards where it was, quote unquote cheap last time, right? So when we look across the board, it's pretty like undecided, right? It's like, hey, maybe NASDAQ wants to try and hold here, but the Russell and the Dow, I mean, these are not good looking charts that any kind of sane person would normally look to, want to participate in from the long side. But FOMC is coming up. That could completely change the game. And the way in which this market has been acting, I would not be surprised to see us try and hold here and push higher. Now, I said this on the last FOMC as well. One of my favorite trades is when we can get a good move on FOMC and then completely erase it the next day. So if we can pull something, like last Thursday into Friday out of this market where we just, this looked super aggressive, super bullish, gap down under the green bar, and then got absolutely annihilated. Is that something that's probably going to happen? Might happen, could happen this week? Yeah. But at the moment here for me, I've got some levels in place. So I've got 45.11 quarters up here on the top side, and then I've got 44.69 75s here on the downside. And essentially, as long as we stay within that range, then I'm not going to look to do anything with these markets. And no matter what FOMC does, I really want to allow that to play out. Let these higher time frame charts get a trend, and then allow myself to step into some positions, right? Some small scalps here and there, not really a big deal. Some standalone names, relative strength, relative weakness, obviously still permitted to play those. But just in terms of overall market direction here, I do want to see a couple more things out of this market. And I'm hoping that, you know, FOMC is going to be the case here. The driver to give us some sort of direction. I don't care whether it's higher or lower. Personally, it looks like lower at the moment. But again, this market has been known to kind of shake and bake in both directions here lately. So we'll see. It's going to be an interesting time for sure. And I guess now that the nightly videos are back, I will see how we stand tomorrow and update you guys on what I'm thinking. If anything has changed, maybe it's a flat FOMC, but we shall see. So anyways, hope you guys enjoy, and I will catch you on the next video. Peace.